Hi there everyone. So as you could have seen by my last video, I am back home with all of my books. I miss having all of my books around me. But since I was away at college, my parents kind of used my room as kind of like the junk room, I want to say. They put all of our garage sale items in there when we were starting to form a garage sale. So my mom ended up taking all of the books off my bookshelves to put items inside for the garage sale. So she just threw all of them in my closet, anywhere they could be, and yeah. So when I came home for, I think, Thanksgiving break, I ended up redoing all of my bookshelves, and they look beautiful. I may show y'all in another video coming up soon, hopefully. But as I was putting all the books on my bookshelves, I realized there are a bunch of books that I don't really want anymore. Like, I've either read them and don't really know why I have them because I didn't really like them, or books that I know I'm never gonna read at all, so there's actually a full box down here for you guys. I guess we'll just jump right in. And I'm really sorry if some of y'all like the books that I'm unhauling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So the first book that I'm going to be unhauling is Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. So I've actually already seen this movie. I did the horrible thing of watching the movie before I read the book, but I don't know, the opportunity presented itself to where I could go see the movie, so I did, and I thought it was an okay movie. And I actually have not read this book yet, and I don't really feel motivated to read it. Like, I've seen the movie, wasn't really blown away by it, and I have heard that this book isn't really that good either, so I don't really want to waste my time and read it either. So there you go. And the next book that I have is The Cupcake Queen by Heather Hepler. So a bunch of these books that I'm hauling are actually books that I read around the age of 12, like tween books, I want to say, and I don't really know why I have them anymore because I'm never gonna read them again, and I don't know, I don't really feel the need to have them anymore. And this is one of those books. Very large text, just a cutesy young teen read that, I don't know, I don't really want to keep anymore. It's basically just this girl who lives in a cupcake shop who falls for a guy who comes in there, and it's a very tween based. The writing style is definitely dumbed down because it is targeted towards a young audience, so I don't feel like I need to have this book anymore. Okay, I know that a bunch of people may hate me for this one, but it's The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I'm sorry. I just feel like someone could really enjoy this book, whereas it's been sitting on my bookshelf for maybe 6 years, and I haven't picked it up once to want to read it. I haven't been in the mood. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. The Hobbit movies are okay in my opinion, and I haven't even read the Lord of the Rings yet, which I don't really plan to soon. I heard they're really good, but I don't really plan to since they're so big and I don't really have the time, and I just feel like someone could really enjoy this book other than me. Then it's just been sitting on my bookshelf for forever, and I don't think it's okay. The next book that I have is The Keeper of the Heart by Johanna Lindsey. So I got this at like a flea market for free. So this was a free book for me, and it's very beat up and battered. And I like beat up and battered books, I love used books, but when I got home after going to the flea market, I realized that this is not the first book in a series. This is like the fourth or something, and I tried to get into it, didn't understand a thing going on, and I've also heard very controversial things about Johanna Lindsey's writing style, so I don't know, and I don't really want to go buy the other books before this book. The next book that I have is The Choice by Nicholas Sparks, and I am unhauling this book just because I already have another copy of it. I bought a copy of this in my college town, not realizing that I had a copy back home. So I'm just gonna unhaul this one because I already have it. The next book that I have is The Total Tragedy of a Girl Named Hamlet by Erin Dion. So this is another tween book that I read when I was 12 or 13, and I actually didn't even really like it. I don't even remember finishing this book, to be honest with you. It's just about this girl whose family's addicted to Shakespeare. Like, she was named after one of his plays. And I love Shakespeare, and I even loved Shakespeare when I was young. So I thought it would be really good for me to read, and I don't even think I finished it. I don't know why. It's been forever since I even bought this book, and I feel like someone way younger than me would enjoy it way more. The next book that I have is Girl Online by xoxo. So I have actually read this book, and I am unhauling it. And I love xoxo on YouTube. I think she's awesome. I'm subscribed to her. I watch her videos all the time. I don't think I'm that big of a fan of her book. I think I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but like, I think I gave it 3 stars. I think I thoroughly enjoyed it. It wasn't bad, but I don't know, I don't think it's that memorable enough to keep in my book collection. I don't even remember what happened in this book, and I maybe read it last year or the year before that, and I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember the girl's first name. I don't know what happened at all, and I just feel like if you forget everything that happens in a book, why keep it? I just know I'm not going to reread it, and I don't remember anything that happened, so I'm sorry, I'm unhauling this one. The next book that I have is another tween book, and that is So Be It by Sarah Weeks. So when I was younger, and very much into reading still, I wanted to buy books that would make me cry. I don't know why, but all my favorite books when I was younger made me cry my eyes out, and this was one of them. I loved this book when I was a tween, but again, I don't remember what happened. I don't know why I cried. And there are other books out there that I still am going to keep that I read as a tween, because I fully remember everything that happened in those books because they were so memorable. And yes, this book was very emotional. I remember I was very emotional while reading it. And I think it's about like a girl whose mom can only say so be it, or her mom's name is so be it because she can only say it, and she has some kind of mental deficiency or something along those lines. And I remember loving this book. I just don't remember it, and I don't know, I feel like someone way younger than me would really enjoy this. The next book that I have is Through to You by Lauren Barhold. So I read this book this year actually, and I am unhauling it because I didn't really like it, and I don't feel the need to keep it in my collection. It's just a very generic romance book where girl falls for bad boy and tries to change bad boy and doesn't really succeed, but then she does succeed. It's very stereotypical high school student, and I didn't really like it because a bunch of the stuff in this book high schoolers would not do. I went to high school, I would know. It's just stereotypical garbage that happens in this book, and I didn't like it. The next book that I have is Feed by M.T. Anderson. So I read this back in middle school, which I probably should have read it way after middle school, but I don't know, my mom just loves buying me books that have award stickers on them. So she, I believe, bought this for me way back in middle school. It was way too complicated for a middle schooler to read. It's very futuristic based with like people who have computers in their heads, and ooh, I just didn't really take on it at all. It wasn't my cup of tea. I love sci-fi stuff, I love futuristic stuff, dystopian stuff, but this book, I don't think I liked the writing style for it. And plus I was a middle schooler and I didn't really understand a lot of the language in this book because I think it was a kind of advanced young adult novel. So I know I'm not gonna reread this, and I don't really remember anything besides people having computers in their brains, so I'm gonna give this up. Hopefully someone will read it that really enjoys it, because I heard it's a really good book, but I don't really think that I'm going to get to it. Okay, the next book is another tween book, and this is Jeremy Fink and the Meaning of Life by Wendy Mass. So I actually did not read this book when I was younger. I planned to so much because I loved Wendy Mass growing up. She wrote some awesome tween books that I loved, but I didn't read it, and I know I'm not gonna read it because it is, I don't know, it's targeted towards a way younger audience, and I don't really have that developed writing style for older readers, and I don't really feel that I'm gonna get to it, you know? And the next one that I have is Finally by Wendy Mass. Now, I remember really, really, really loving this book as a tween, but again, I don't remember anything besides a girl turning 12. I remember loving it. I loved this book so much when I was younger, but I don't know, I was younger, and I'm not gonna reread it, and I don't remember what happened. So, giving this one up. So the next two books are actually a duology, and that is The Secret Language of Girls and The Kind of Friends We Used to Be by Frances O'Rourke Dowell. So I really loved these as a book just because I really loved these as books when I was younger, just because it had to do with friends and losing friends and making friends. And when I was in middle school, I was horrible at making friends, and I had a bunch of friends leave me, and it was devastating, and these books helped me through that. But the only thing I remember about these books is that they're about friends who aren't friends, and then who are friends, and then they don't become friends. I don't remember. See? I know I'm not gonna reread them, so I'm gonna give them away. Okay, the next book is Ways to Live Forever by Sally Nichols. So this is another tween novel. I actually didn't even get the chance to read this as a kid. I think this was the time in middle school where I just finished The Fault in Our Stars, and I wanted to read other books with kids with cancer in them. It's horrible to say, but I did. And this is basically about a boy with cancer, and I remember reading the first couple pages, but I don't think I ever finished it. But I think it would be a really good book. I just know that I'm probably never gonna get to it because it is targeted towards such a young audience. I like reading picture books, and I like reading middle grade, but a bunch of these books are like in between middle grade and young adult, or in between picture books and middle grade. And those two snippets of in-betweens don't really spark my interest. And I don't know, I think someone could really, really enjoy this book because I think it's really good, but if someone way younger than me were to read it, I think they would enjoy it way more. The next one that I have is Saving Zoe by Alison Noel. So I think this is a young adult novel. I don't remember. I got it in middle school, and I don't really remember all that much that happened besides a girl dies or a girl gets in a car accident and her sister does something, and I think tries to get with dead sister's boyfriend. I'm not sure. I don't really remember, but I think I was very, I don't know, not okay with it because I think she was trying to get with the boyfriend. Maybe I'm thinking of another book, but I think it's this book. But anyway, I don't even remember what happened in this book, and I don't think I'm gonna reread it. It doesn't really spark my interest anymore, so I guess I'm just gonna give it away. And the next book that I have is Fairest by Gail Carson Levine. So this is one of my favorite books growing up. I absolutely loved it. I think it is some retelling. Sleeping Beauty? I think Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. I don't remember. But it was really, really good. But again, it's set towards a way younger range of ages, and I don't really see myself reading it again, and I don't really remember all that much that happened in here. I know that I loved it growing up, but again, it was me growing up, and I was way younger, so. Oh yeah, she wrote Ella Enchanted also, so. I haven't even read that book. I've only seen a movie, so. And the last book that I have is maybe gonna be a controversy to some people, but that is The Siren by Kiara Cass. And if any of you did not know, I am a very big fan of the Selection series, and I love it. I more so love the first 3 books. I'm okay with the last 2, The Heir and the Crown. But after reading those books, I was browsing through Barnes & Noble one day and came across another Kiara Cass book. Oh my gosh, Kiara Cass just came out with a new book. Oh my gosh. So I picked it up, started reading it, and even just maybe 50 pages in, I was like, what the heck is this book? All I did while reading this book was complain about this book, and it was so weird. I don't like it. I don't like this book at all. It's the kind of insta-love that I am not a fan of at all. And this is probably one of the only books that I truly do not like. I mean, I have plenty of books out there that I feel meh about. I thought it was okay, and like, I don't really care. But this one, don't like. One of the very few books out there in the world that I'm just like, nope, no, 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 never read that ever again, because I never want to go through that again. I don't really know all that many people out there who have read this book, but I know there are plenty of KiaraCast fans out there. But I actually did learn after reading this book that this book was published way before the selection came out. Way before. And I like looked it up on Goodreads after I read it, and I was like, what? This book is old. Why is it in hardback and with like a new cover? And they like republished it just a few years ago. So they tricked me because I thought it was new. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, all of you who do. But I was very annoyed reading this book, and I'm sorry. So that is why I cannot happen anymore. So that is it for my unhaul video, I guess. There were a bunch of books, and I'm sorry if some of those books were books that you liked. Most of them were books that I bet a bunch of people haven't even heard of because they're targeted towards such a young audience. But I'm glad to be giving them to a facility or to someone who will actually enjoy them way more than I would or I did. So yeah. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all soon with a new video. Bye.